So I just saw this thing about some guy from Ubisoft explaining what their idea is about NFTs. And his idea is reselling your stuff after you've had your fun time playing with it. Okay, basic question. Why would I want to sell something that I can. I mean, why would I want to sell something that I can only use in one game? Okay, let's say you have your Call of Duty, your Assassin's Creed, whatever. Let's say you have 15 titles and you have an NFT that is supported by all 15 titles, right? Right. And I can cross-sell that thing across the titles. One, how do I maintain it? Two, what about piracy? And number three, why would you make it an NFT? An NFT is a digital ledger. It's a book maintained, a virtual book of stuff, a virtual file cabinet maintained by multiple computers, right? It's a ledger tied to the memory. It's a ledger tied to a memory vault. And you're buying the key to the memory vault. Why would I want to? Why is it an NFT? Why isn't it just a centralized system maintained by the company? Why does it have to be to have multiple backups? Like, why don't I just? And then there's the question of what that means that I cannot. The only way to make this work is if I'm required by the company to rent the game permanently. And I can only use this thing in multiplayer. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why don't I just copy, paste to another thing the NFT and then use a mod to play in game? Why don't I just bring down the quality of my character and use a mod to skin over that character? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It makes even less sense than trying to go for crypto in this decade. Cryptocurrency is a ledger. It's a replacement for wireless bank transfers, right? You want to transfer money to someone. That person wants to take the money. Cryptocurrency is a bank, but it's decentralized and it uses up a lot of GPU power. But companies can afford to make the GPUs work the best way possible. Put them in clean rooms, hook them up to water cooling, etc., etc., etc. It does not make any sense for an average person to try and maintain a cryptocurrency. Unless if they're using smaller blocks, in which case they're primarily funding unofficial bank transfers, in which case someone is gonna make up a law to arrest people supporting those unofficial transfers that are like a bank, a digital bank without a permit. And if any pedophile uses the system to buy pedo pics, the people who are using the GPUs that are using the smaller blocks in crypto, they're going to end up in jail here and there. Theoretically, if it doesn't just fade out of existence because it's a stupid ass idea to try and maintain crypto this decade, other than making your making your GPU cheaper, relatively cheaper for yourself, and keeping up the noise and keeping up the heat in your apartment for no reason, crypto doesn't make any sense anymore. Now, because crypto raised prices on GPUs, it creates a sort of loop where it forces people to try it out if they want to play really fun games. But then it's the question of, at what point is too much power too much? Like, we can only see 1080p. We can only see 4K if we're up close. There's a limit to texture quality and stuff. Sooner or later, someone's gonna come along, maybe using RISC-V cores, maybe using cheap laptop APUs, and just start making games that are actually fun, but less graphics intensive, and specifically target the market of all these idiots like you, Ubisoft. You don't provide any value. This does not provide any value. I don't want a digital economy. If you make a digital economy, I will be expected to pay a tax every time I sell something. If you make a digital economy and I don't pay a tax, it's like owning stock, owning useless stock. If you don't pay a certain tax every now and then, however minute, your stock is just gonna be forfeit. That's a thing. You can let stock become forfeited. Like, you can. It's idiotic. It's idiotic. Why? Why don't I just mod your game to play on a private server? I mean, it makes more sense for me to use cryptocurrency to support private servers with your game your game world on them, and just use copies of your NFTs on those servers. But then, why even do that when I have Tensor cores and I can just use the modding tool to make my own skins? It doesn't make any sense. Like, buying skins is like a vote for the IP you like. I like Batman. I will buy Batman stuff. I like Halloween. I'm gonna buy Halloween stuff if it's not too massively priced. The people who spend the most money on your games are whales. Whales work on the principle of, I want to feel powerful among all these players, so I'm going to spend cash. If you all of a sudden, even if it does work, all of a sudden your top players will become speculators, and they will become just like people who feel more who start seeing your game as a marketplace, but your game is not a marketplace because there's no point to it. There's no point to it. What is this? No, there's only so many people who are gonna be interested in a given title. And with time going on and on and on and on, and technology becoming more and more and more powerful, and software tricks to make technology look better and better, and software will look better and better and better. I mean, PlayStation has dreams. People have Unity. People who don't want to use Unity have Godot. You're about to have an infinite amount of competition, and your approach to countering that competition is make something worse because speculation, because gamers wanna own digital stuff, except nobody wants to own digital stuff, and it's like the dumbest, most transparent, most idiotic thing ever. Ever. The more technologically competent your player base gets, the stupider your idea looks, seems. It's just so dumb. What is wrong with you, Ubisoft? Don't do this. You're wasting your life. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your potential. Immediately stop this nonsense and start putting all of that money into developing other titles and making like a fucking crossover between Far Cry and fucking... I don't get it. How can you be this stupid? I know that rich people get their money off of gimmicks, and they're used to spending their money on gimmicks, but this gimmick is not making you any money. People are telling you, we don't want this. You don't have a reason to do this. There is no value here. Nobody has... If it was an MLM about developing games, fine. That I might actually be stupid enough to buy. Like, fund our game company by investing in it and blah blah blah, and we will sell stuff to people and you will make money. Like, invest $20 or whatever. That would make sense. That would make sense because NFTs are good for documents. But fucking skins and a million variations of bullshit that cost $100, $200 to be maintained by a server, but you don't actually own the things. You only own the key to the things, and it's just so fucking dumb. Bitches, no.